Issues continue to plague airports all around the country today in the continuing aftermath of last week's global software outage.
WKYT's Samantha Valentino talked with several travelers who had a difficult time making it back to the Commonwealth.
When Justin Cook faced delays in Charlotte, he was compensated by American Airlines.
They ended up getting me a voucher for food, and then they ended up putting me in a hotel for the night.
But Sherry Paul says she didn't receive the same with Delta in Atlanta.
There weren't even enough blankets for everybody.
As an airline passenger, you do have rights, and travel experts say it's important you know them in case of a delay or cancellation.
What consumers need to realize is that most of the flight cancellation and delay regulations fall under the purview of the U.S. Department of Transportation. However, the airlines themselves may have some additional policies in place to assist passengers if something like this happens.
There are some blanket rules put in place by the DOT, though. For example, if you experience a controllable delay of 3 hours or more with any of the major domestic airlines, you're entitled to a meal or meal voucher. A controllable delay is anything the airline can control, including maintenance or crew problems, fueling, or cabin cleaning.
If the airline has canceled your flight, you are entitled to a full refund for the ticket.
Heather Clary with the Better Business Bureau recommends keeping thorough documentation of any cancellations or delays, familiarizing yourself with your airline's policies, and purchasing travel insurance.
It's an excellent idea to always buy your airline tickets using a credit card, and do check for those aspects of the policy that comes with that card. Is there extra protection for trips, flying, cruises, car rentals, things of that nature? Find that out beforehand.
And when the time comes to contact customer service, Clary says you should try the airline's website to save yourself from hours spent on